mind. We want you lovely faces in the shot. So you guys scooch in, scooch in, scooch in, scooch in, be in the shot, be in the shot.
Even the interns, they can come in.
Are you trying to get everybody in there?
Well, we'd like to. I want you guys as much as possible, you know. All right. Okay, is everybody ready? Hey, I want to thank you for your patience. Good afternoon, everybody. Not nearly good enough. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you all for coming, and I am pleased to be joined by representatives of all the different law enforcement agencies here in Shelby County. If you could just raise your hand as I say your name, I want to make sure I recognize all you. From the Shelby County Sheriff's Office, we have Assistant Chief Derek Mills. From the City of Bartlett, we have Chief Jeff Cox. From Germantown, we have Chief Mike Fisher and Deputy Chief Godwin. From Collierville, Chief Dale Lane. From Memphis Police Department, we have Deputy Chief T.D. Jackson and Major Andrew Casso. And from Millington, we have Chief of Police Chris Stokes. Thank you all for coming, and thank you as well in the media for coming as well. For some time now here in Shelby County, we have had been flooded with so-called no-chance gaming machines that looked and acted remarkably like slot machines. And I have gotten information over the time that they've been here from law enforcement that the locations where these machines were associated with criminal incidents, sometimes directly related to the machines, disturbances over access to the machines or the proceeds from the machines, sometimes just indirectly because illegal gaming locations are sometimes a hub for other types of criminal activity like drug activity or, in this case, money laundering. Law enforcement agencies, including the Drug Task Force that I am part of, have done enforcement actions seizing these machines. We have been prosecuting these cases and in many cases doing forfeiture actions where we've been able to successfully seek and get forfeiture in court of both the machines themselves and the proceeds from the illegal gambling operations. Nonetheless, their use has persisted, and we still have many of these gaming machines in Shelby County, amid some uncertainty, or at least claimed uncertainty, as to their exact legal status. About a year ago, one of the machine manufacturers sued me in my official capacity, claiming that the machines were in fact legal under Tennessee law, that the seizures and enforcement actions were illegal, or, in the alternative, that the statute making them illegal was unconstitutionally vague. We had a trial before a specially impaneled three-judge court consisting of judges from each of the three grand divisions of Tennessee. This past May, I testified in that trial. I'm pleased to announce today that earlier this week, that three-judge court did render a decision unanimously holding that these machines are in fact illegal under Tennessee law and that the statute illegalizing them is constitutionally valid. I'm here today with other representatives of law enforcement because we want to make absolutely clear to the public, particularly to the convenience store owners and managers and other people who are proprietors of places where these machines might be located, to be absolutely clear. There's no more legal uncertainty. A three-judge court has ruled these gaming machines are illegal and they are subject to seizure. You are not to have them in your stores. You are to get rid of these machines, and we reserve the right to seize them and do prosecutions. I believe that several of these law enforcement agencies that are represented here have plans to do precisely that, to engage in enforcement actions and seize these machines. So if you are a proprietor of one of these stores, be on notice. They're not legal. You need to get rid of them or they will be seized. I wanted to make sure that that message was clear, and I'm happy to answer questions in a moment. I'm going to end on a somewhat personal note here. It is possible that reasonable people could disagree on the policy behind this, right? Some state legislatures have decided to legalize gambling, either this type or other types of gambling. They will tax it heavily. They will regulate it heavily. I suppose it's possible that the proceeds of that could go towards anti-gambling addiction efforts or anti-poverty programs which would help those parts of the population that seem to be disproportionately hurt by the prevalence of these machines. But we don't have that situation in Tennessee. The legislature has not made that decision. We currently have the bad effects of these machines without any of the possible hypothetical ameliorative effects. And so therefore, we are going to enforce the law as it exists in Tennessee, and that means we will go after these machines. Let me end it there. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Can you further elaborate on the effects that these illegal gambling machines does to the community? So once they get into the community, what happens from there? Can you just tell the public, remind the public? We've seen, of course, users before, but
Right.
we don't talk about sometimes on this side of media.
Sure.
how
What law enforcement has told me, and what we saw when the Drug Task Force did a day-long sweep where they seized machines at 5 different locations last summer, is that the sites of these machines tend to correlate with higher incidents of criminal incidents. So whether that's, like I said, directly related to the machines, disturbances over the proceeds, or who's getting the turn at the machine, or just the fact that, like I said, these machines attract a certain element, and when you have illegal gaming, it can be a hub of other types of criminal activity, like drug activity. When the Drug Task Force did its sweep last summer, we found evidence of money laundering at some of the locations. When we took a look at the statistics, we saw that at those locations, at some of those locations anyway, or in the nearby area, we saw a higher incidence of criminal incidents. And that is enough for us to be concerned. But of course, it isn't even necessary for us to show that, because as a matter of law, they're simply illegal. They shouldn't be existing at all. Any of the profits from them are ill-gotten gains, and they're subject to seizure and forfeiture.
What kind of money are we talking about?
A lot, and I wish I had the numbers. I seem to recall from last summer when the Drug Task Force did its seizure, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars per day at each of these locations, and it adds up, right? And the manufacturers are, making in the millions. And there's nothing wrong with making a buck, but it has to be legal. And as we learned today or earlier this week from the 3-judge court, these are not legally obtained proceeds. They are illegally obtained proceeds, and we will seize them. Yes, I'm sorry, you and then, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just curious if you could elaborate a little bit further on the specific types of machines, what they look like.
Yeah, and we can get, we have a photo of them that we can provide to you, but they look very much like slot machines, right? So they're about this big, and you put money in them, and then it spins, and then 3 different things will come up, kind of like a slot machine. They're video games, right? So there are different types of games, brightly colored with the theme, that you can select different games and then play them. And then depending on the outcome, you may or may not get money from them. So to the untrained eye, I think the average person would look at that and say, well, yeah, that's a slot machine. Now, of course, I want to acknowledge, and this is really important, that the plaintiffs in this lawsuit do not concede that these machines are illegal. They continue to maintain that they are legal under Tennessee law. And they will have the option to appeal this decision if they want to, right? There is active litigation on this, and I want to acknowledge this. But I'm fairly confident now with a unanimous 3-judge court decision that this is a settled legal position. We are very confident in our assertion that these machines are illegal.
Is this a matter of the manufacturer saying this is a game of skill versus a game of chance?
Not quite. They're not maintaining that it is a game of skill. Their legal theory is this: there is no random number generator in the machines, like in a traditional slot machine. There are like tens of thousands of different combinations, but they are preset in advance. And so there is a script. And furthermore, they say, it is possible for you to press a preview feature function and get a preview of what the next round or next 2 rounds will be. Therefore, they're saying it's not really a game of chance. It is an amusement device, which, depending on the way that the tickers flip, you may or may not gain money. Well, we and the people, and the good people in the Attorney General's office, who I'll congratulate because they litigated a good case and prevailed, we have taken the position all along that that's just not what the law is in Tennessee. So the statute defining it says that, gambling says that if you risk anything of value for a profit where the outcome is in any manner dependent on chance, very broad, that is gambling. And there are two old cases from Tennessee where the Tennessee Supreme Court ruled, once in 1914 and once in 1941, where they had a preview feature, just like I just described. And the court said, it's still gambling. Because even if you know what the next round's outcome is, you are still hoping for a disproportionate gain from the next round. And since you can't tell how the things are going to flip, it is functionally a matter of chance, which they defined as if you can't tell, if there's no discernible human intervention or observable cause, then it's chance. And this isn't really any different from a slot machine.
Do the machines pay off, or does someone at the business pay off?
Well, so the machine, I think you get a voucher or something and you go to the cashier and then you cash out. Yeah.
How much time do people have to remove the machines? How is that going to be active?
Well, I'm not announcing any amnesty period or grace period or anything, because we did a press conference on this a year ago. People are on notice. They should be on notice. If they weren't on notice today, they surely are now. So we reserve the right to begin seizures whenever we decide that's appropriate.
All right.
Thank you all very much, and
Thank
thanks to
you.
everybody from the law enforcement community who chose to join us today.
All right, well done. You guys did great. You guys knocked it out of the park.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate you coming. I appreciate you making the trip.
Hey, thanks for having us.
All right,
man.
no problem.